Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, May 14th. Prices of BTC currently at 8,065, as we can see. Taking a little bit of a tumble right here. We're on the 5-minute chart, and the reason I like to look at small time frames like this is because we can capture, these little lower highs a little bit easier than, say, if you start looking at the 1-hour time frame. Right here, you can't really tell anything. Other than this big bearish engulfing and then a couple of rebound candles. But when you start looking at the 5-minute chart, you can start laying out some groundwork of where prices need to break through key levels to establish potentially that continuation of upward momentum. Okay, so first, once this low was hit right here of 78.91, you could see we sort of established another higher low. Unfortunately, no higher high. So this is essentially a lower high from this one right here. And now this is, if this turns around right here, this is another lower high. Okay. But what we really need to see, at least, say on the 5-minute, and again, guys, I rarely look at the 5-minute to give me an indication of where prices, are going to be, or nor do I really trade off of it. But I look at it sometimes because I need to map out certain levels to see this sort of higher low, higher high structure that I just showed you. So one key level that we need to break through is this 8130, let's just say, 8150 to be safe, okay? That's the area where now that we create a higher low, we created this lower high, but we need to create another higher low like this and then sort of go like this, okay? So once we break above this area, then I can almost certainly say that then the next target will be $8,300, okay? Why? Because once the sellers right here have been broken through with a bigger, upward momentum, that means that these sellers have essentially lost the point of control right here, and prices are going to push higher. Maybe they'll come down, test this as support, bounce up sharply, and then boom, take off. Okay. Now, if we start going out on the larger time frames, yesterday stated that once we catch a bounce off this area right here, which we didn't even, the bulls didn't even let the price come down to that area perfectly. It's usually just, a couple of $10, $20 before that, and then boom, prices just moved away, and then we create another higher high. Okay. Now I know there's people in the field that are saying that this could be a potential head and shoulders. Guys, stop looking for things you want to see. Okay, look for the things that the chart is showing you. There's a big difference. When you start injecting emotional bias into constantly wanting the price to go down, you're not able to trade what the price is giving you. Okay, what the price is giving us on the 1-hour time frame is still some higher lows. Still sort of this, I would probably say this is a big sort of, I don't know, like a bull flag, I would say. Here's that, flag-like movement right there. I know that's terribly drawn, but you get the idea, right? And aside from that, when we start looking at even the higher time frames, say the 4-hour, this is just one 4-hour candle, guys. And as you can see, when the wick is poking from the downside, like this means that the bullish pressure is refusing to let the prices fall even further. Okay, so prices have went down as low as about 78, 80 or so, but we're pushed up. Now we're back at about 8,082, so about a $200 move up, pressured by the bulls. Very little volume on this too. This also indicates that the sellers are far and few in this market, and even if they are present at any stage, they just don't have that much supply to dump on the market. All right, and usually these sellers come about randomly because they want to protect that short position that they're targeting, right? So if prices are, say, going to hit 8,500, that means that their short positions are going to get liquidated. And so usually what market players will like to do is they'd like to sell a sizable portion of Bitcoin to hold the price down to keep their short positions above water rather than underwater. Okay, so in this case, 4-hour time frame also looks good. 1-hour time frame I just showed you looks good. And now when we start looking at the daily, even though we are overextended to the upside, I still don't see any issues with BTC slowing down anytime soon. Clearly on the Bollinger Band right here, prices are far too overextended to the upside. But the thing is with BTC is when it goes parabolic, guys, it just goes rogue, right? You don't really know when it's going to stop. So it's best to sort of ride the train up and see what kind of gains you can get out of it. So for the most part, like I stated, waiting for that break of 8150 is going to be key. That will allow more potential upside, probably to, as I mentioned, these key levels. Next one is probably going to be about 8,500, and then beyond that, I honestly don't see anything in the way till about 9,700. Okay, so those would be some of my other levels that I'd be watching out for. So let me just map that out right now. That one right there, and then first we got to get through this choppy little area right here, about $8,400. Okay, so those would be my next couple targets. Okay, now if we start looking at this chart right here, we still have a lot of room for growth to the upside, but remember that we haven't quite tested. Let me pull this over here. We haven't quite tested this previous area as support, but it's not necessary, guys, for price to move on up and come back and test it right away, and then move back up again. Sometimes price just gets so far overextended to the upside, it'll move up maybe all the way up here to 12, 13,000, then maybe come back down and then just sharply move back up again. I'm not saying either of those cases are going to happen. I'm saying that in either case, we haven't seen BTC slow down to give us any indication that it's going to go up towards 10, 12,000 before it pulls back, or it's just going to go back right away. As far as I can see, on the smaller time frames like the hourly, 4-hour, 12-hour, and even the daily, things look pretty good, and I don't see any reason why prices can't keep on moving up. The only times, guys, people, the best traders will ever know that this is usually the top, quote unquote, is either they are in control of the market or they follow technicals like we do, which is, we start seeing structural changes in BTC. So in this case, structural change in BTC would imply first level to be broken would be, so first what would happen is you'd see a topping off like this, okay? Then you'd see another bigger lower high created on, some larger time frames like 4-hour or daily charts, maybe even weekly, okay? Then you see sort of a low created like that, and then you see another lower low like that, okay? That sort of implies that structure has changed. Hey, prices might head down lower, warning sign, and time to get out. As you can see, we haven't seen that anywhere, okay? I mean, even from way back here in, say, March, all we've seen is sort of higher lows, right? Higher lows. Over here, we just took off, higher lows, another higher low. So point is, I am not seeing anything on the 4-hour daily chart to show that prices are slowing down. BTC is topped off. So I can only assume by looking at the chart that, we may be headed to more upside. Okay. All right. Again, if you want to learn technicals, guys, come join Cryptosomniac.com, hit the products page right here. Sign up for the Advantage subscription. We have 7 days free right now. You can see we have a pretty active community. I put short-term, medium-term, long-term analysis every single day of trades that I'm making. As you can see here, my trades right now, active trades. Here are my medium-term trades right now. Some of these are closed, some of them are open. And then here's some long-term trades as well that I've put into my channel. Again, this is stuff all that I'm doing. And then Bitcoin analysis, just like this video, I put videos as well as updates every single day like this. Okay, guys. So, my community is informed and not sort of following the herd like the rest of, crypto Twitter is trying to do. We want to educate you guys. We want to, make sure you guys are knowledgeable to make your own decisions. So come join Cryptosomniac.com, 7 days free. All right, back to the analysis. On the daily chart, even over here, things look pretty good. Here on the, let me see this one right here. Here's that parabolic move right here that I've talked about many times. Still really no structural issues right here. If anything, this parabola is more sharpened like this. It looks like one of my options got filled, it seems. So when you see a big sort of sharp straight up movement like this is always kind of scary when it comes to any asset. But when it comes to BTC, we've seen this over and over again. And, with all of this sort of dumped onto the market, this supply right here that was all dumped, there's probably a lot of key players that picked up down here. They also probably picked up down here. So when you take supply off the hands of the retailers and essentially out of the market, off the exchanges, what do you think is going to happen? That means prices are going to move up, right? Because there's limited supply and there's more demand. Because it's like a knife slicing through butter, essentially, because there's so little supply and there's such a FOMO for BTC that people are willing to pay higher and higher prices because the demand is, foaming at the mouth for more BTC, right? So that's essentially what's happening, here right now is almost analogous to what's happened way back here in July, or even over here, in May or April 2017. I wouldn't quite say that it's analogous to this move right here in December 2017, because back then, guys, the entire crypto space was talking about making 5x, 10x, 100x gains, and even your local barber or Uber driver were starting to talk about that. That's usually the time where you want to start letting go of your asset, to be honest, okay? When people like that are starting to give you investment advice. Now in this case, barely any people even know that the crypto space is coming alive. And a good example of that is, check this out, okay? This is Google Trends from the top of the bull market here in 2017, and here's where we are right now, May 13th, which is yesterday, all right? You can see the search trends on Google have completely, been brought down almost to low levels, okay? It's ticking up a hair, but it's nowhere close to what the search trends were for Bitcoin way back here. So search trends are, clearly, in my opinion, one of the best indicators to understand what's happening and the sentiment behind Bitcoin, okay? Or behind the crypto space as a whole. And clearly, there's really nowhere near the FOMO that we saw, in 2017, not even close. And to me, that's probably a good sign, because I don't really want people to FOMO in just yet. You want prices to be much, much higher. Then you want the FOMO to kick in for everyone. I would say, as of right now, the crypto space is, fairly niche, because we are just coming out of a bear market, and these, 2x gains that we've seen from, say, 4,000 all the way up to 8,000, I think is barely on the radar of a lot of people, other than those who have been paying attention very closely to what's happening in Bitcoin, which again, I don't think is a lot of people, okay? So the retail herd is, way behind, and they're going to be catching up maybe in a year or two. That's just, how the news media will essentially get to them, right? They'll let them know when the prices are that high, okay? All right, back to the analysis. Other than this big parabola, there's really nothing much I can talk about. I am still seeing some strong positive movements from these alts right here whenever BTC is not sort of, coming down. When BTC is moving as on a slight grind up, or even moving up sharply, you will see sort of heightened gains from Bitcoin Cash and LTC and Ethereum. LTC sort of slowed down a little bit, but in our trades right here, as I've mentioned, my positions are open in Litecoin, BCH, Ethereum, and Bitcoin right now. And here are the gains that we've sort of gotten in the community. Again, none of this is investment advice. All I'm telling you is this is what I'm doing. If you choose to follow, you choose to follow. All right. I hope that helps. Let's take a look at the trades quickly. Here is Ether, and this is a perfect example of Ether, guys. Here's that, ascending triangle right here that was forming, and look at how it moved on up, right? Create a double top right here, and then came down sharply to retest the top of that triangle for support, and then moved away with another higher high. This is a bullish structure. Okay, this is an opportunity to buy on dips. This is what I'm going to be doing, is picking up, Ethereum on dips. All right, like this. You don't want to be buying, when the prices are just skyrocketing like this. You want to wait patiently for the pullbacks, because I promise you, there's going to be pullbacks. That's just how markets operate. They can't go up forever. With that being said, obviously, same could, be made of the case of BTC, is that it can't keep going up forever. But when it does slow down and when it does start crashing, we'll start to know. Okay, we'll start to know on different indicators that are giving us some, warning signs, some warning signals. Price itself will start, showing you signs of weakness, and I just haven't seen that yet. So when I do, I will definitely let you guys know. But for the most part, I'm still fairly confident that BTC can keep climbing higher, and I will be trading it as such. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. For the most part, we do this kind of stuff every single day in the community. I go through analysis. I answer a ton of questions in the Trader Talk channel. These are all, read-only channels where I put up what I'm doing and my analysis. And this is usually where a lot of the magic happens in Trader Talk. As you can see, I wake up in the morning. I do my morning routine of, working out and taking it easy, not looking at the markets too much. And then once I do my analysis for 30 to 45 minutes, then I will start sort of making videos like this, okay? It's sort of my own, routine that I do every morning, right? And I love doing it because the Cryptosomniac community is a very supportive community, and you can learn a lot and you can gain a lot. And I'm not just, sort of talking out of my ass about it. It's because I've been through a lot of communities, guys, and other people will tell you they've been through a lot of communities, and we have by far the best one with the most, educational content, as well as the most supportive people in our community. All right. Awesome. That's pretty much it, folks. Still seeing some really positive signs. I will be picking up more on dips, specifically targeting LTC, BCH, and Ethereum, as those have been consistently outperforming BTC. All right, Cryptosomniac.com, products page right there, and then get the Advantage program, 7 days free, guys. All right, I hope you join, and I hope you come get some gains from us. All right, I'll just show you what trades I'm doing, and if you want, you can follow. If not, that's cool. All right, take care, folks. Cheers, and have a wonderful day.